Last night, Bruce Bochy returned, and the Giants got home runs early from Chase d'Arnaud and late from Gorkis Hernandez to take game 1 in 12 innings over the Padres. Now the ball goes to one of the Giants' most reliable starters, Derek Rodriguez. The Giants are 7-2 when he starts a game. It's matinee baseball, game 2 next. Another beautiful day in the summertime in San Diego for the Giants getaway day, the finale of the series with the Padres. Welcome to NBC Sports Bay Area, powered by Xfinity. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow and Dave Fleming, who will be along in the middle innings. Dwayne Kuiper is on assignment. He'll return on Thursday when the series in Arizona begins. And for the Giants today, a chance for a sweep of this short series, and Derek Rodriguez on the mound against Clayton Richard. You got the rookie right-hander who's doing extremely well against Clayton Richard, who can be tough.
Well, Derek Rodriguez, when he goes out there in 9 starts, Giants are 7-2, so they definitely think it's win day when he goes out there. And offensively, the Giants last couple of days, they've had double digits in the hit columns, and they have scored some runs. Now, you would think it would be a good matchup today. Clayton Richard, lifetime 7-8 against the Giants, but in this lineup today, 6 of the Giant hitters lifetime against Richard. They're hitting over 330, led by Gorkis Hernandez, who's 10 for 19 lifetime against him.
All right, so the Giants going for the sweep before heading on to Arizona. Now stay tuned, and we'll take you to our NBC Sports Bay Area studios for an update right after this.
area is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Jack in the Box. Try the $5.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. And by SoFi, a modern finance company.
There's the Gas Lab Quarter, which is just about a block away, the entrance to the Gas Lab Quarter from us here at Petco Park. Now the game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. 84 degrees at game time. The wind's out of the southwest at 10 miles per hour. The humidity is 63%. So it's warm and a bit muggy here in SoCal. The forecast, mostly cloudy and mostly perfect for baseball. Some of that I just ad-libbed. Now the Giants batting order brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Andrew McCutchen leads off right field. Chase Darno at second. Evan Longoria at third base. Nick Hundley doing the catching. Buster Posey, after the long night last night, getting a day off. Hundley, who's had great numbers against Clayton Richard. Austin Slater at first. Brandon Crawford at short. Pence in left. Gorkis Hernandez, the hero last night, and he's had great numbers over the years against Richard, hitting eighth in center. Derek Rodriguez, the pitcher.
On the hill today for the San Diego Padres will be the veteran left-hander Clayton Richard. Take a look at what he has done in 22 starts. 7-10 with a 5.05 ERA. And with Richard, you're going to see a fastball. It's right around 90. And he's got a slider and a changeup, all from a low three-quarter delivery.
That is too low.
Richard's a big guy, 6'5", 235-pounder, in his ninth year at the big league level.
To second, Aswahe, and one away.
Defensively, the Padres are going to set it up this way behind Clayton Richard, starting in the outfield from left to right. It's going to be Myers, Margot, and Jankowski. Really good arms in left and in center. Galavius and Villanueva, they'll be on the left side of the infield. Aswahe and Hosmer on the right side. Austin Hedges, he'll be in the squad putting down the signs.
Chase Darno hit a 3-run homer in yesterday's game in the second inning. A screamer down the left field line into the first balcony on the Western Metal Supply Company building. 282 for the Giants. In 39 at bats, he's got 3 home runs. That line drive to Galvis. Almost knocked him over backward.
Well, how far would you go for a Togo? Brought to you by Togo's Pretzel-Lammering. And last night, Chase Darno hit a 3-run bolt off of Eric Lauer. That was in the second inning. Hit it almost 1 miles per hour at 371 feet. And that was a 3-run blast that really was the difference in the game for the Giants. Our Togo's Pretzel-Lammering.
So the Pretzel-Lammering, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
You get that? That's like a major award.
That's better than an Emmy.
I didn't win the Emmy, but I won 3 Pretzel-Rammies.
And those, you don't put them on the shelf in your library, you put them in the refrigerator.
You turn the fridge into your trophy case.
That's exactly right.
Keep the salami over here, and we keep all the trophies over here. Galvis. And the side is retired. So very quick and quiet first inning for Richard. in warm, sunshiny San Diego. The Padres batting order now brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Travis Jankowski, the speedy leadoff man in right. Manuel Margot, also a fast runner, center field. Will Myers, very powerful. This month he's had 16 extra base hits, third most in the league. Eric Hosmer hits cleanup. Hedges the catcher. Galvis at short. Villanueva at third, hitting seventh. Asuaje at second. Clayton Richard, the pitcher, bats ninth.
On the hill today for the Giants will be the rookie right-hander, Derek Rodriguez. Rodriguez, 26 years of age, 6'1", 215-pounder. And this is his 10th start. Giants are 7-2 in his previous 9. How good has he been? Well, since June 24th, his ERA is 1.53, and it ranks him third in the major leagues behind 2 All-Stars, the Red Sox' Chris Sale and the D-backs' Zank Greinke. That's how good he has been. How does he do it? A fastball that goes low to mid-90s. He will 2 and 4 seam. He's got a curveball, a changeup, and a cutter, and he'll throw them all on any count. He has been very, very good. Lifetime against the Padres, no record, but he had a good start.
Jankowski to Crawford. And quickly, 1 away.
That start that Rodriguez had against the Padres, 7 strong innings, 4 hits allowed, 1 run allowed. Let's take a look at the defense behind Rodriguez. Starting in the Giants outfield from left to right, it'll be Pence, Hernandez, and McCutchen. Pretty good arms across the board. Crawford, Longoria on the left side, Darno and Slater on the right side. Nick Hundley, he'll be in the squad putting down the signs.
Mike, that game you mentioned, Rodriguez against the Padres back on June 24th in San Francisco. That's right on the outside corner for a called strike. And it's 0-1. The first batter of the game that day hit a home run for the Padres, and that was the only run Rodriguez allowed in those 7 innings. And the batter who hit that home run is at the plate right now, Manuel Margot. So Margot is the only blemish really on the resume for Rodriguez against the Padres.
Well, Derek Rodriguez and Clayton Richard both have a pretty good strike zone to throw to today. Mark Carlson's pretty pitcher friendly. You'll see some high strikes. It's a pretty big zone, and it can be a little inconsistent on the corners, but a little more consistent with what we saw with last night, although last night was a pretty big strike zone. Good getaway day strike zone.
But after that curveball, got a piece of it, sliced it right into the Padres dugout. Got there in a hurry. You guys might take that personally.
I always did.
He hit a foul ball at you, and he meant to do it. Strike 3 call. Got the low strike right at the knees. 2 down. Here's our BioFreeze moment, powered by BioFreeze. Cool the pain. Thursday versus the Brewers, Derek Rodriguez went 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits allowed through 91 pitches. It was his 6th straight start, allowing 2 earned runs or less. Rodriguez ended up with no decision in that game. Left in a 2-2 tie. 2 down, Will Myers the hitter. Powerful right-handed batter. .280 average with 9 home runs. Only played in 42 games. Right on the outside corner with a fastball.
Both pitchers like to work quickly.
That's a called strike.
Let's take a look at strike 3 to Margot. It's a pitch cast brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company.
And he changed up on him there in the dirt. 2-2.
Giants really have given a lot of off-speed stuff to Will Myers in this series, and that's not something that's unusual.
Myers is 0 for 6 here last night with 4 strikeouts. Sprays that one foul off to the right. And where was he going? He walked right across home plate toward the dugout, then turned around and walked back across the plate.
Just taking a stroll, having a word with himself.
Eric Hosmer is on deck. High and foul off the right field line, back into the crowd. The trade deadline ended. The deadline itself was at 1 o'clock Pacific time, just before the start of this game. No trades for the Giants. There were certainly some rumors, but nothing has been done, which doesn't mean nothing can be done. That curveball is down and away. At the end of August, you have the non-waiver deadline in effect. So any trades from now through the month of August that are made will have to be on players who've cleared waivers. There's the long throw by Crawford, not in time.
So that's the one thing about Will Myers. I mean, you forget. I mean, he's a big guy, but he can move. I mean, he's an outstanding athlete, 6'3", 230-pounder. But I mean, he can get it going. And you never see a guy run faster than when he's sniffing a hit. There's really not a whole lot that Brandon Crawford could do more than what he did. Take a look at the big man. Not a lot of backswing, so he got down the line well. We had him at 4 flat. From the right size, a guy that size, that's impressive.
And he's at first, but that does not mean he'll stay at first, because he can steal bases as well. He has 5 steals in 5 tries. Remember, he's only, before today, played in 42 games this year. Eric Hosmer. And Myers gets back. Hosmer was 0 for 3 against Rodriguez in that game back in June in San Francisco. Myers at that time was on the disabled list. His infield single here is the first at bat he's ever had in a regular season game against Rodriguez. That's down the right field line. And Myers could score on this one. He's coming around, and the relay home by Darno is much too late. 1-0 San Diego. A double for Hosmer.
Well, the Giants had been favoring the right center field side with Andrew McCutchen. So they gave away the line. Once that ball got past McCutchen, got to the wall with a 2-out jump and Myers' speed, it was going to be a pretty easy score. See how far towards right center McCutchen was. I mean, if he's playing straightaway right field and he cuts this off and there's no score, I'm doubtful that he could even get a double. That's one that just got hit away from the defense and it cost the Giants.
And it was, according to the StatCast strike zone, a ball that was well off the inside corner. Pretty good hitting there by Eric Hosmer.
Now, the only way you get to that pitch is if you're cheating.
Austin Hedges now hitting 5th in the order.
And when I say cheating, I simply mean you're looking for that side of the plate and you're opening up. You see the target. Boy, he really clears the hips out early, and that means he's looking for that location. The Giants have been pitching pretty consistently on that side of the plate, and that time he looked for it and he beat it.
24th double of the year for Hosmer.
I gotta be careful when I accuse a guy of cheating. I gotta explain.
I was shocked. Hosmer, he's a cheater? What?
Well, on that pitch.
But it's an expression.
Just an expression. Innocent.
There's not a lack of ethical behavior involved. It's not, he didn't break any laws. Now, looking for that pitch the way he was and opening up for it and everything else that you described, what pitch could have made him look bad if it had been thrown there?
Well, a fastball on the outside corner. Anything on the outside corner, off speed, because he was looking for hard stuff in. He got exactly what he was looking for. And anything, you know, any speed away from that speed, he's going to look bad, or a two-seam movement running away on the outside corner with a fastball.
Pop-up foul, and that will go out of play.
But I mean, that's what hitting at this level is all about. It's about analyzing your opponent, knowing what his tendencies are, what side of the plate he likes to pitch when he's pitching to you. Take all that information that you have in the previous 5 or 6 or 10 at bats or whatever, and then apply it to a one pitch. And if you get that pitch you're looking for, then you have to beat it. The bad part about it is when you guess right, you look for a pitch, get it, and you miss it. That's bad.
So you cheated and you had no benefit.
Exactly.
In that case.
But it happens in every game. I mean, it can happen 3 times in an at bat. You guess right, you miss it. So I mean, even when you guess right at this level, it's still not that easy to square it up.
Well, the Padres had 2 down, nobody on, and then a ground ball by Myers, but he beat it out, and now they have a run home. They have a runner at second. 3-2 pitch into center field, fairly deep, and caught by Gorkis Hernandez. One-handed basket catch there. Hundley, Slater, Crawford coming up.
By Humboldt Redwood. Naturally strong, naturally beautiful decking, fencing, and timbers. Visit getredwood.com to learn more.
It's 1-0 San Diego. As we see the panoramic view of the waterfront. The beautiful city of San Diego. Beautiful ballpark. Petco Park. A lot of Giants fans are always here. And it's really cool because the black and orange color scheme just seems to go with this ballpark somehow so beautifully.
Well, we've grown accustomed to it.
Nick Hundley takes a called strike from Clayton Richard. 1-0. The Padres are leading. Hundley has 5 hits and 11 at bats against Richard, including a double and a homer. And he lines this one, but it stays up and caught by Myers. That's 3 straight balls that have been hit very hard by the Giants, but they've all been caught. So here is Austin Slater. That ball off the bat of Nick Hundley, 105 miles per hour. And the statistics show you hit a line drive that hard or harder, the batting average, the average of balls put in play at that hard hit effect, 700. So truly you can say it is bad luck. You hit one that hard, you don't get a hit. Not that that makes Nick Hundley feel any better. Austin Slater with a count of 1-1. Slater hitting .304. Slater had 1 hit last night, just ahead of Darno's 3-run homer in the 2nd inning. But it wasn't really so much what he did with the bat last night that stood out. It was what he did with the glove, especially in the 11th inning. He saved the game for the Giants, literally. Right past Ron Woda's foul.
Well, I didn't think it was a play that was going to get made, quite honestly.
Sam Dyson having to make a hurried throw to first base on a ground ball, a little dribbler hit by Hedges, and he threw it in the dirt to first base. That's back out of play. 2-2. And it ended up being a tough hop, not just a little short hop right into the glove, a high hop. And Slater handled it just like he'd been handling low throws for years as a first baseman. Now it's a full count, and he is the first Giant to reach a deep count here against Clayton Richard. Giants have not yet had a base runner against the left-hander. And it's ball 4.
Good at bat. Well, the Giants will kick off a Barry Bonds weekend on August 10th. On Friday, all special event ticket holders, you will receive a statuette commemorating Barry's 35 splash hits and the rubber chicken walk counter. One of my favorites. Oh yeah, and a ticket to see the Giants take on the Pirates. So go to sfgiants.com/special events. Check it out.
That's hit well, but caught by Jankowski right at the edge of the track. That's the big part of this yard.
Another bullet. This is the play we're talking about that we thought was, I mean, the game. I mean, look, you got to run at third base. This is if it gets by Slater, the game's over. And Slater with a high backhander digging out the top spin, one hopper he gets from Sam Dyson, one of the best sinkers he threw all night. Great play.
Hunter Pence now.
And here is the tail end of that play. I mean, he used every bit of that glove. We talked about Eric Lauer, the pitcher for the Padres last night, who has such a great move to first base. He's got 10 pickoffs on the year. Well, Clayton Richards got a good one too. And for a big man, I mean, I think it's one of the best in the National League.
And that's it for the Giants. One walk, one left. 1-0 Padres after 1.5. For baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Last night, Reyes Moronta pitched the 6th and the 7th innings, allowing just 1 hit, had 2 strikeouts. And after he got out of a jam when he first came on, there were men on base, and Derek Holland The starting pitcher, whom Moranta replaced, had a big embrace for him. Reyes Moranta, he has been a great addition to the Giants bullpen this year. Been one of their top guys. Galvis the hitter, and a changeup at the knees for a called strike.
Well, and Moranta's doing something that is very difficult, and that's to come into an existing inning. And he has had remarkable success at leaving inherited runners stranded.
And sometimes there's a lot of inherited runners.
He's done with bases loaded, no outs, and got the job done. I mean, he has really made a name for himself.
That is foul, right past first base coach Skip Schumacher. A lot of kids here today. It's a camp day. Kids at summer camps, and thousands of them here at the ballpark today in different groups. Some out in the park, out beyond the right center field area.
I like the park within the park. It's a hit.
Cool
out
concept.
There.
Seems to be
Padres out there.
Seems to be perfect for this franchise, especially. 3-2. There's Tony Gwynn, whom you're talking about, Mike.
The great Tony Gwynn. Boy, could he hit. What a great guy he was. I miss him.
He made his major league debut against you. And that is ball forward to Galvis. Not easy to walk Freddie Galvis. Galvis had a .295 on base average.
That was right down to the base of the strike zone. I mean, that's one that could have been called a strike. Instead of a called strike 3, now you're in the stretch. Leadoff hitters on with speed who can steal. Phew.
So here's Villanueva. 19 home runs, the Padres home run leader. Look out. That buzzed him a little bit. He got the hit last night that tied the game in the 8th inning. Ripped a double into the gap in left center field. Also got a hit leading off the 11th inning. Back at Rodriguez. 1, 2, a double play.
Oh, and by the way, did we tell you that Derek Rodriguez was drafted as an everyday player, an outfielder who's got a great glove, and boy, does he show it on this play. That ball was hit hard. If it gets by Rodriguez, it's a first and third, nobody out. Well, looking where Darno is playing, maybe not, but still, great play. The other thing, too, I like about what Rodriguez did there, I mean, he made a quick exchange. Very clean defensive play.
The way he made that exchange, he looked like a guy who could play second base.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, those are things that a bench coach and a manager, they'll take notice of, and maybe sometime when they need to put him out there.
Suaje with 2 down, nobody on, hitting 8th in the order. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to him. Two and 1 now. Clayton Richard, the pitcher, is on deck. Suaje came into the game as part of a double switch last night. In his first at bat, he crushed one out into deep left center. You were just talking about how you had to respect that, even though he's a little guy, he's got some power, and he could well be even trying to launch one. And I was kind of belittling you for saying it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Mike.
But he's not a big guy. He's at 5'8", 160 pounds. And I think that most hitting coaches and managers would prefer to see this guy hit line drives and ground balls. But because he's got a little pop in his bat, I mean, you know, he's not afraid to let out some shaft, especially in a tie ball game.
Well, he sent Gorky Hernandez almost to the wall out there in left center. That might have been a broken bat. Crawford gets the speedy Suaje. On to the third inning we go. Hernandez, then Rodriguez coming up.
Last night, Gorkis Hernandez, he was the man. Top of the 12 tie scorer, and he does this in a 1-2 count off Matt Strom. A long home run, 401 feet into the second deck, and that was the difference in the game. Giants would win, and that would be home run number 13 for Hernandez, and that's our Mercedes pivotal play.
Gorkis has only had 3 hits in his last 21 at bats, but 2 of them home runs, including the last 2 days. Ball 1 from Clayton Richard. Derek Rodriguez, the pitcher, is on deck, and then Andrew McCutchen, the leadoff man, due up third in the inning. And ball 2.
You mentioned the success that Hernandez has had against Clayton Richard, 10 for 19. So you know he sees him well. And Richard is pitching very respectfully here, nibbling. Richard is not going to blow you away with a lot of velocity. He's going to try and finesse you. He's a guy that pitches to contact. He feels he can determine how hard you hit.
It's a 4-pitch walk to Gorkis to start off the inning. On the next homestand, a week from Sunday, August the 12th, the Giants and the Pirates will go at it. The first 20,000 fans attending will receive a Giants by the numbers book courtesy of Cost Plus World Market, detailing the Giants' all-time uniform numbers, both numerically and alphabetically. Learn how the Giants Hall of Famers were given their numbers and read accounts from current players as to why they selected their number. This book is a must-have for all Giants fans. Purchase your tickets directly from the Giants at sfgiants.com. Bunting foul there, Derek Rodriguez.
Well, the Padres are very aggressive with how they're playing the bunt here with Rodriguez, and he is definitely a guy who can slash. Show bunt, bring the bat back and slash.
And bunted foul again. He's had 2 successful executions of the sacrifice bunt. But he's only had 1 hit in 16 at bats.
No, he's one of the better bunters on this Giants pitching staff.
Hernandez, a fast runner at first base. And he gets it down. Very nicely done.
That's perfect.
Hosmer to Asuaje.
Runner at first. You should go down the first base line. Put a little pressure on yourself when you get to an 0-2 count to get it down, but in the end, he gets it done. Keeps the momentum going. Giants still looking for their first hit.
Andrew McCutchen now. Rodriguez getting it done. He's tied with Ty Block for the second most sacrifice bunts of any Giants pitcher this year, even though today is only the 10th start that he's made. Giants no hits, as you mentioned, Mike, but look at the velocity of the contact that they've made. A lot of guys have hit the ball really hard. They've been squaring it up against Clayton Richard and getting nothing for it.
No, 95 and above. I mean, that's a good at bat. And Alonzo Powell, the Giants hitting coach, I mean, he'll be walking up and down the dugout saying, be patient. You're having good at bats. They'll fall. Because you can get frustrated as a hitter and as a team. It goes hand in hand.
I mean, the bottom line is having success, getting the hit and whatnot. But I always remember Barry Bonds saying, hey, you hit the ball hard. That's what you went up there to do.
That's your job.
It's out of your hands after that. That's a called strike because you know, when you think back to it, you didn't see Barry breaking bats over his knee or
ever
firing a helmet or destroying a helmet, whatever.
And once he got in the batter's box, he stayed there, which I loved. There's Alonzo Powell. He and Rick Shue, the two-man hitting coaching tandem.
Got the call on that one right around the outside corner. 2-2 now.
There's Rick Shue. Giants have a very, very hard-working coaching staff.
They have a runner in scoring position for the first time today, trailing 1-0. Hernandez the runner at second. And the spin move there by Richard. Nothing going on. And timeout was granted.
Richard came through with the eephus breaking ball. Maybe it wasn't even a breaking ball. It was just kind of a low lob, as Dave LaRoche used to throw.
The LaRoche La Lob. Foul ball. Two and two the count to McCutchen. McCutchen has had 7 hits in 16 career at bats plus 2 home runs. He's also walked 5 times on top of that. He's had a lot of success against this pitcher. And he ripped that one, but foul.
Ball babes here are pretty athletic. I mean, they can play. They're definitely softball players. But you know, game after game, we see him make really nice plays. Good glove work.
2-2 to McCutchen. Now it's a full count. Hedges quickly pouncing on it. Gorkis Hernandez did not risk it, staying at second. Giants had only 1 hit in 12 innings last night with a runner in scoring position. That was the 3-run homer by Darno in the 2nd inning. That was their first at bat in that scenario. This is their first in this ball game with a runner in scoring position. Second base or third base we call scoring position. And that's a walk. The second baseman, Asuaje, broke to the bag and was out of position when that pitch was thrown.
Now watch the second baseman. I mean, possibly thinking pickup, but when a guy breaks like this, you have just opened up an area of the field that second baseman can't cover. You just limited his range. What Richard should have done, and you expected a guy in his 9th year at the big league level, step off. Let him get back into position.
So here's Darno. He clobbered one, a shot, but right to shortstop for an out. And there's ball one. So d'Arnaud has a similar situation to the one that presented itself when he came up in the second inning last night, and he crushed a shot right down the left field line into the balcony there, the lower balcony on the building in the left field corner. That ball is hit high in the air to deep right field. Still going, and a leaping catch by Jankowski. Yorkis Hernandez tags and goes to third, and now Asuaje will run the ball back to the infield. d'Arnaud really hit that one a long way.
Oh, he did with backspin on. I mean, that's carry on a hot day where in this ballpark you will get carry to right field. Doesn't happen very often. I mean, he squared the ball up twice, and he's got an 0 for 2 to show for it.
So 2 down.
Another good at bat for Chase d'Arnaud against a lefty.
Evan Longoria grounded out to short his first time. 1 ball and no strikes.
Big opportunity here with 2 outs. That's the money hit. That's the one that really energizes your bench. Hey, Yorkis Hernandez, I mean, he had a huge lead off of third base.
He was bluffing down the line as though he were heading home and trying to disrupt the attention of Richard to the hitter. Now Hedges bluffs the throw to third, and I know he was bluffing because nobody was covering the bag. Two balls and a strike to Longoria. He hit a hard ground ball to short his first time. And now it's 3-1. Longoria has a home run against Clayton Richard in 11 career at bats. 2 on, 2 out.
Anything at any time, you're going to see a lot of off-speed stuff from Richard in fastball counts. Big slurvy breaking ball and put it in a perfect location to get the swing through.
McCutchen takes off from first, and the foul ball. Another off-speed pitch. Two walks in the inning. The Giants still do not have a hit in this game. The last time they faced Richard in San Francisco, June 22nd, they had only 3 hits against him in 6+ innings. There goes McCutchen. And that is all for Longoria. Another off-speed pitch.
Our play is brought to you by the Northern California Ford dealers. Last night, Will Smith got the win. He faced 4 batters, got 4 strikeouts. Bottom of the 11th, he closed out the inning with 2 men on, striking out Carlos Asuaje. Then in the bottom of the 12th, he gets Margot looking, Will Myers looking, and Hunter Renfroe swinging. Smith this season in 9 innings, I mean, he's averaging 12.7 strikeouts per 9. And that's our smart play brought to you by your Northern California Ford dealers.
Smart play just bringing Will Smith in right now. There's a strike to Clayton Richard. That was kind of cool because Richard is a pitcher, but he's not a bad hitting pitcher, although not a whole lot this year. Does have a homer, though.
Well, Clayton Richard is a great athlete. I mean, he was a 2-sport letterman at the University of Michigan.
A Wolverine.
A Michigan man.
1 and 2. Ernie Harwell used to call them Michiganders.
He played football and baseball there. He's a quarterback. Big fella, 6'5", 240.
2 and 2.
So bottom line is he can hit a little bit.
Still 2 and 2. Tomorrow the Giants have a day off in the desert, and then Thursday they begin their series against the D-backs. Madison Bumgarner will face Zach Greinke Thursday, 6:40. That is all for Richard. Second strikeout for Rodriguez. Dave Fleming over in the radio booth. He'll be moving over here with Mike Krukow in the 4th inning for the middle innings. Dwayne Kuiper on assignment. He'll return on Thursday for the Bumgarner-Greinke matchup. Giants have not announced any other starting pitchers for that series. D-backs have been fairly active in the trade market here at the deadline.
Well, they brought in Brad Ziegler today. The trade deadline today was very entertaining. I mean, there were trades going all around baseball. Started really yesterday. Very active.
The Pirates made a blockbuster trade. One of the biggest names out there in terms of a starting pitcher available. Chris Archer, who's still a fairly young guy with Tampa Bay. Now he's with Pittsburgh. And they gave up some pretty good talent to get him, as you might expect, including Austin Meadows. I was really surprised that they gave him up. Left-handed hitter, outfielder with power, who was hitting .292 and doing some slugging for them. On the outside corner, 3 and 2. Jankowski grounded out to short his first time. 1 out, nobody on. 1-0. The Padres lead the Giants. That's a fair ball. Hits the sidewall. And Jankowski, who has great speed, has a double. Time for our Wells Fargo look ahead. Thursday's starters, the Giants and the D-backs in the desert. And their numbers for the year. ERA very similar. Bumgarner, of course, has only made 10 starts, coming back from the injury he sustained at the end of the spring. And the rest of the numbers. And it's been a very strong year for Greinke. Bumgarner's been a little tougher to hit than Greinke. That's a great matchup. That's the kind of matchup you'd expect to see on opening day. Well, the bunt attempt by Margot and caught by Hundley.
That makes no sense. You get 1 out, runner in scoring position. I mean, you're a guy that is up there trying to knock that run in. I mean, you're not trying to set up a 1st and 3rd situation if you're bunting for a base hit.
And he hit a home run against Rodriguez in San Francisco. The only other time he faced him last month.
I mean, that's something that a manager would absolutely challenge a guy after a ball game. He'll ask him, what was your thought process on that? And then whatever he answers, the manager will say, well, don't do it again.
2 down, Jankowski still at second.
There are 2 answers you can give, John.
Yeah, okay.
Number one, I don't see this guy at all, but you already said he's got a home run off him. And number 2, my hands hurt. I can't swing.
There you go. Well, if I were Margot, I'd go with that one.
Yeah, I think I'd go with that one.
It's fine now, but just for that pitch, it just didn't work.
Tweaked it in the on-deck circle.
1-1 the count to Myers, who got an infield hit and scored a run his first time. Fouls one off his foot here. 1-2, another off-speed pitch to Myers.
You can see the spray chart as to how he hits the ball on the ground and as to where he hits it on the ground. That's our StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
And that is all for Myers. Jankowski stranded at second. Dave Fleming will be along for the 4th inning. Huntley, Slater, and Crawford coming up for the Giants.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Kona Brewing Company. Enjoy a Big Wave Golden Ale or Longboard Lager today.
Welcome back to Petco Park. It is 1-0 Padres. We're going to the top of the 4th inning, and joining me here in the booth, my pal, Dave Fleming.
Always love the shots around this town, San Diego. Great place to visit. We love being here. Hi, Mike.
Yeah, welcome to the booth.
Yeah.
Oh, did you bring some runs with you?
I was in a different booth. There were no runs over there. Now I'm in this booth. We'll see. A lot of kids. No Giants runs so far. It's one of those camp days.
Always a very colorful day.
Well, that's how the adults keep track of who belongs to them.
So you had a chance last night to spend some time with your in-laws and do a little family time?
Yeah. Have to do that when I come down here. The in-laws' garden, I mean, it's warm today. It's this beautiful day. It's been warm all summer. Just has exploded. They have more tomatoes. They're giving away tomatoes. Go drive by their house. They'll give you some. It's ridiculous. Strawberries, blueberries, tomatoes, squash, watermelon.
Peppers.
All of it.
I love summer.
So
for that reason.
Summertime in San Diego is a good thing.
My wife Jennifer drove back to Reno when we broke town.
Hundley rips one to left. That's more bad luck for him and the Giants. He has hit the ball hard twice, and guess what he has to show for it?
He's got what the little bird left on the rock, basically. And again, you have to be patient. Alonzo Powell, Rick Shue, the two hitting coaches, going in up and down the Giants dugout saying, stay calm. They're going to fall. Just keep having good at bats, I promise you. Giants still looking for their first hit, and they've scalded the ball.
I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 really hard hit balls that have not been hits.
Well, just to finish that story, my wife got back to Reno, and the first thing she did was go outside and take a picture of the tomatoes and the peppers exploding.
So you're ready to taste some of that.
Oh, I love it.
And of course, I mean, it's great down here in San Diego. We get so much of that in the Bay Area ourselves. Part of the reason why we love living where we do. Go visit Farmer Al, get the peaches, Frog Hollow Farm.
Oh, Frog Hollow peaches. Thank you, Walter Robb, wherever you are.
How does it get better than that? I think I've only eaten about 40 of them in the last few weeks. Slater thought he'd drawn a walk again.
Well, his approach, I'm glad he's seen another pitch.
It's good count to hit in, and he lines one up the middle. Base hit. So it's not a walk, same 90 feet. But I think you're right. He looks like a guy who's going to start doing more and more damage. We know there's power in there. We saw it last year. He showed a lot of power at AAA.
Well, and plus, I mean, against a left-handed softballer like Richard, if you have a right field approach, I think you're really in a position to do some damage. I mean, he's got the kind of swing that says, I'm going to hit for average, because he uses the whole field. There isn't really a single pitcher type that will give him problems.
Crawford, who I think is feeling like he has had a run of bad luck, hit a ball hard his first time up. But you said it, stay patient. Now the Giants have a hit. Well, let's see if they can turn that into a rally.
Yeah, it has been a problem getting Richard in the stretch.
Friendly call, 1-1. They've drawn 3 walks against him to go along with the Slater hit.
Yeah, it's a good getaway day strike zone with Mark Carlson.
Up the middle, base hit, right past Richard, who's upset at himself for not snaring it. Might have been a double play if he had. Instead, it's first and second, only 1 out.
Richard is a good defensive fielding pitcher. He's always in a great position after he throws the ball, very much like Ty Block. And this one, he can't believe he missed. I mean, it just went right over the tip of the web of his glove. Good position. I mean, he doesn't get it. I mean, right away, I mean, he shows you the agony of defeat.
He's such a good athlete, good hitting pitcher. He and Jeff Samardzija grew up together, not necessarily right next door to one another. Pence on the ground, into the hole. What a play for the out.
I don't know about that one. That's one the Giants are going to look at. That's very, very close, and I don't see Crawford vacating that bag.
So we'll see. Hang up the phone and wait. Okay, pick it up again. Do we have a dial tone? Challenge.
Yeah, they're going to look. Really a beautiful play from Galvis to even make it close. Giants looking for a definitive view. Oh yeah, he's safe. That one's going to get overruled. I mean, that's the one. I mean, you know, you had to kind of wait for the guys, Chad Chopp and Sean Dunston in the Giants clubhouse to get a view where they could confirm it. This should be quick.
Safe. Good challenge by the Giants. That'll go down as an infield hit for Hunter Pence. The bases are loaded.
Here's another great look. No brainer.
Our replay review presented as always by Xfinity. Did you know the Giants have the second best challenge percentage of any team in the big leagues. When they challenge, they get the call in their favor more than anybody but Kansas City.
Nice going. Chad Chop and Sean Dunston, who are in the Giants clubhouse making those calls.
So now Gorkis Hernandez with the bases full. First pitch swinging out to right center field. Should be plenty deep to tie the game. Jankowski toward third. Crawford slides in. That throw also allows Pence to advance. Slater comes in to score. It's 1-1. I mean, it is the pitcher coming up, but you take those extra bases and who knows?
Well, you never know. Indeed. I mean, you might get a wild pitch or two. Plus, Rodriguez, I mean, he's only got one hit on the year, but he's got an idea. The one hit was an opposite field double off the wall in Coors Field.
I'm personally waiting for some more results from all these Giants pitchers hitting before I keep lauding the athletic abilities, hitting abilities. That's a pretty good looking swing, though.
But this guy was a 6th round pick as an outfielder.
He was.
So,
he was.
I mean, those are credentials. Frankly, I expect more than 1 for 16.
Yeah. 0-2. Well, he did a good job getting a bunt down his first time up today. 2 on, 2 out. 0-2. A little topper. Not going to be a totally routine play, but Hedges very quick in front of home plate for out number 3. Giants get the run, tie it up. It's 1-1, middle 4 at Petco.
In any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Francisco Giants Baseball Club, LLC.
Giants have tied the game at 1 here on a beautiful day in San Diego. Bottom of the 4th. Time for our Coors Light refreshing finish. It was on this date 6 years ago. Giants beat the Mets. Hunter Pence arrived at AT&T Park. Giants acquired him at the deadline from the Phillies. It was a very big deal. Hunter signed autographs even before he made his way into the clubhouse to get to meet Mike Murphy, Brett Alexander, Tim Lincecum while he was doing the post-game conference with all the reporters in the clubhouse. And all these years later, Hunter Pence still wearing the orange and black. 2 World Series rings later.
And one of the most beloved Giants ever.
Still gets a huge ovation everywhere we go, and he's visiting ballparks. He came up as a pinch hitter last night, and it was about as loud as Giants fans got all game.
Well, you know, and as he walks through his life, whenever he returns to San Francisco, it's going to be the same thing.
I think he will return a lot. Hunter found a match that maybe he didn't know he'd been waiting for his whole life in the city of San Francisco. His personality, the people there, just a great fit. Started riding before all these electric scooters were everywhere around San Francisco. He was the guy who had one. He was riding it all around town, waving to everybody. Hosmer, who doubled his first time up against Rodriguez, knocked in the only run so far for the Pods. Leading off here in the bottom of the fourth after the Giants tie the game. Hits that one to shallow left. Here comes Mr. Pence. One away. Was there a trade deadline deal this year? We're talking about Pence came to the Giants 6 years ago today. That Giants didn't make any trades. In case you're joining us midway through, did not hear the news right as this game was getting started. The non-waiver trade deadline came and went. Giants did not make any trades today. Was there a deal around the big leagues? There were lots of trades made that intrigued you particularly.
Oh, there were several. I thought that. Well, and I'm not sure it's actually gone down, but Jonathan Scoop.
Yeah, they have officially announced it, going to the Brewers.
I don't understand. I mean, they just got through moving Travis Shaw to second base, and now Scoop's coming over a second baseman. So I haven't seen who he's been traded for and the players involved in the deal, but I thought that was intriguing.
A couple of minor leaguers, plus apparently Jonathan VR, who we missed because he's on the DL, going to Baltimore.
And Chris Archer going to the Pirates. I mean, I kind of considered them a dark horse in that conversation, and here they win them. And they gave up Meadows.
Yeah.
Who's a really good-looking young player. They gave up a lot, which you have to do when you have a starter, an innings eater like Archer, who's under control for another couple, 2-3 years.
Tyler Glasnow, the big, hard-throwing right-hander we saw when we were in Pittsburgh, also went in that deal. Hedges is out number 2. Diamondbacks made trades for a couple relievers. We will see Brad Ziegler and Jake Diekman in the Diamondbacks bullpen when we show up on Thursday. Yeah, that's probably, you kind of figure that's what the Diamondbacks were going to try to do. The Dodgers trade for Brian Dozier and John Axford, so they get an infielder plus a right-handed reliever. And there were many, many other trades made. Braves were very active. They got Adam Duvall yesterday, Kevin Gausman today.
I thought Tampa really did well.
They were wheeling and dealing, weren't they? They acquired Tommy Pham. They gave up Wilson Ramos. They trade Archer and get those 2 guys from the Pirates. So they were moving in both directions. Good pitch. Strike 1. It's a fun day.
Yeah, it really was. I think that's how baseball fans like it. They like action.
I mean, me too. We live in a world where everybody stares at their phones, but when you walk into the press dining room and press box area this morning and leading up to the deadline, every single writer here covering was just buried head down looking at the phone, waiting for news. Slater takes it himself. That's out number 3. And a nice 1-2-3 inning for Derek Rodriguez. We will go to the 5th. It's 1-1.
Shutdown inning.
San Diego, Dave Fleming, Mike Krukow, John Miller over on the radio side for the middle innings today. We'll see Kipe again in Phoenix. Andrew McCutchen, first pitch swinging to deep right field. Jankowski runs out of room. It is gone. Attack mode for Andrew McCutchen. First pitch of the 5th inning puts the Giants ahead 2-1.
Well, and again, stay patient, keep having good at bats, and finally you'll break through. And when you're taking your bats against Clayton Richard as a right-handed hitter, right field is there for you. That's where he wants you to hit the ball. And McCutchen took on the challenge and just popped it right out of here. Great at bat. Home run number 11 for Andrew McCutchen. And the only way you get that location on that outside corner is if you're thinking right field.
214th home run of his big league career. Darno now a line drive base hit down the left field line. That's going to be extra bases. Darno can really run. He will pull up at second with a double.
He finally breaks through. That's the 3rd great at bat he's had against Richard today. Boy, he has been a shot in the arm for the Giants, who really were looking for some help against left-handed pitching, and he's given it to him.
He really has. Last night, the 3-run homer against the left-handed starter Eric Lauer. Now today, line out to short, deep drive to the wall in right, and the line drive double to set the stage for the Giants to add on. Evan Longoria has had a quiet day so far. Takes strike 1. He has seen a steady diet of off-speed stuff.
Well, and then fastball counts too. 3-1 breaking balls, 3-2 breaking balls.
These days, I wonder whether there's such a thing anymore. Fastball count.
You're right. I mean, those guys have the ability to throw so many different types of pitches, and they can throw them for strikes.
I still say it all the time. Longoria down the left field line, hooked it though, foul. I mean, I probably say it 5 times a game, and just about every time I say it, I think to myself, fastball count. I don't know.
No such thing. But I think guys understand the fastball in this generation beautifully. I mean, a 2-seam and a 4-seam fastball, they're 2 different pitches. So even if you give into a fastball count, if you've already shown a guy 2 4-seamers, you throw him a 2-seamer, that's a different pitch.
We were peeking in on the Red Sox-Phillies game last night at Fenway. Aaron Nola, who pitched great again for the Phillies against that fearsome Red Sox lineup. There was an inning where I think he threw 1 fastball to the heart of the order. It was curveballs, it was change-ups. It was amazing to watch. Longoria to short. No double play. Another hard hit ball for the Giants.
Another rocket. All right, you want the stats on the McCutchen opposite field home run? Here they are. Hit at 102 miles per hour, 373 feet. We're talking about the carry you get in this ballpark to right field in the daytime, much different than what it is at night. But clearly he took advantage of it. Flexed his muscles.
And you can still see, as hard as he hit that ball, the old outline of what used to be the home run wall, the outfield wall in right field. Over the years, in a couple different places, that back pink wall, you used to have to hit it over that to get a home run.
Yeah, home runs are impossible to right field.
They were. This was a tougher home run park than AT&T Park. And in left field too, they've moved the fence in several different spots. But think about how hard McCutchen hit that one. That would not have even been close. That would have been an out, no problem, in the old configuration. Hundley, another pick by Galvis, and now they got Darno hung up in between second and third. Hundley's going to sprint for second, so Darno at least stays alive long enough to get Hundley into scoring position. Freddie Galvis has made some beautiful plays at shortstop.
Dick Hundley has hit 3 bullets. He's 0 for 3. So, I mean, Darno gets hung out, but that's a veteran move. And he was looking behind him to see where Hundley was. And he stayed in that run down long enough to get him in scoring position. So the Giants don't really lose. They lose a little speed, but with 2 outs, Nick Hundley's still going to get a good jump. Any ball hit.
Now Slater, who has walked, singled, and scored a run. Giants have gone ahead on the McCutchen home run. They have continued to hit ringing line drives against Clayton Richard ever since that home run.
Well, you kind of figured that it was going to go that way. If you looked at the lifetime averages that guys had in the lineup today against Richard, there were 6 guys that were hitting 330 or above. Freddie Galvis kind of wrestling that one hopper on the backhand.
Just long enough to allow Hundley to get into scoring position. Giants will not take advantage, though. Hit it to the wrong guy. They do get the run, though, to take the lead. Andrew McCutchen, the very first pitch of the inning to the opposite field, his 11th home run of the year. And that puts the Giants ahead 2-1.
Bay Area is brought to you by Redwood Credit Union. Redwood Credit Union offers full-service banking for all that you love. Federally insured by NCUA.
I mean, it's pretty cool scene down at Mission Beach, the surf machine. Although, I do have to say, you're in San Diego. Why can't you go to the real thing?
No sharks.
That's probably a pretty good reason. Villanueva for the Padres against Derek Rodriguez.
That looked pretty fun, didn't it?
That guy was good at it.
But the point you make, water's here. I mean, you don't even need a wetsuit down here.
All right, if you're in Cleveland, use the surf machine. You're in La Jolla.
Hey, the surf machines are coming. You're going to have them in lakes all around the country. Kelly Slater's got it. Go check out Kelly Slater on YouTube. Surf machine. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It's kind of his new project, isn't it?
Yeah. And that'll be all across America.
3-1 here to Villanueva. Giants have gone ahead 2-1.
The perfect wave.
Is that what it's called?
Oh, it is the perfect wave.
You ever read this book? That's ball 4, called Barbarian Days. I think you would love it. A guy named Bill Finnegan, New Yorker writer, wrote a book about his surf adventures all over the world.
I would.
Great book.
Well, stream the Giants on the go. This season, once again, you can stream every NBC Sports Bay Area Giants broadcast on your desktop or mobile device. Giants games streamed on the go on the NBC Sports app.
That's my book club recommendation for the day.
All right, what is it called?
Barbarian Days.
Barbarian Days. All right.
I do think you would really enjoy it. And there's a whole chunk of the book where he lived in San Francisco, and he talks about surfing Ocean Beach and the intricacies of Ocean Beach and what a great surf spot it is, and how difficult it is, the challenges. I'm not a surfer, and I was fascinated.
Well, for a guy who goes all the way around the world, I'd like to see how he defines Northern California surf.
He's got a great perspective.
The guys that surf Northern California, they are hardy souls.
Very much so. That comes through loud and clear.
Men and women that surf Northern California.
Aswahe, Darno, nice pick from his knee, throws him out. Good play. Richard was in the on-deck circle, but I think Andy Green's going to make a move. Jordan Lyles has been warming up in the bullpen for the Padres. Giants are ahead 2-1. Pitcher spot coming up here in the 5th. And the Padres are going to pull Richard from the game, use a pinch hitter. Spangenberg will be the hitter. There he is. Jordan Lyles, a guy who can be a short reliever but also kind of a long man. Gives a manager the ability to make an aggressive move a little earlier in the game, even coming off a long extra inning game last night. The one thing that might argue against it is Clayton Richard is a good hitting pitcher. So it's not like he doesn't have a chance to help himself. But you understand the Padres doing what they did. Spangenberg does have a little pop. 6 home runs. Runner at second, 1 out. Strike 1.
So good at mixing up the first pitch of an at bat is Derek Rodriguez.
Got him to chase there with that hard curveball.
I mean, now you know he wants to go back down there again. He throws that breaking ball. You get a guy to swing at one in the dirt. You're thinking, okay, I can do it again. The question is, do you go away from that pitch, throw a fastball away, maybe try a little paralysis fastball off the plate away, and then come back to it, or do you give him another one?
Oh-2. He went up with the fastball and got him swinging.
A little gamesmanship there too with Nick Hundley tapping the ground. Now in a situation where you have a runner at second base, that's something that you can relay if you're the base runner to the hitter. If a catcher taps the ground, normally he's saying bounce that curveball, put it in the dirt. Nick Hundley taps the ground and then they give the high fastball. And if the guy at second base gave him the sign that was curveball was coming, he just screwed up Spangenberg.
Ball 1 to Jankowski. So a cool little inside moment there. Richard out of the game. Jankowski, who has doubled in 2 at bats, chokes up on the bat a little bit. Hit that one pretty well to right field, but McCutchen is there for out number 3. Rodriguez works around the leadoff walk. We go to inning number 6. 2-1 Giants.
And incredible fans, on Sunday, August 12th, the Giants are celebrating Pixar Day at AT&T Park. Your special event package will include a Funko Pop figure of Jack Jack from the movie The Incredibles 2 and a ticket to the Giants taking on the Pirates. Go to sfgiants.com/special events and check it out. See, that's our goal, Dave, is that at some time they make a Pixar movie and we get to do some voice work and be in it.
I am totally on board. Sign me up right now.
That's our goal.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Jordan Lyles, the new pitcher for the Padres. I would love to do that. I'm not going to beg, out and out beg.
I'll beg.
I'll come close.
I will beg. That's how cool it would be. Lyle's a 4-pitch pitcher. Got a fastball, runs it up there, low to mid 90s. Sink and cut it, curveball, changeup.
I've always liked him. He came up to the big leagues at such a young age. I think he was 20 years old, so he's been around for a long time. He's still a relatively young guy. We've seen him wearing several different uniforms. He got Crawford to chase, strike 3.
That's a good curveball.
1 out. Xfinity X1 customers say, show me the San Francisco Giants into your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Here's Pence. Hunter had an infield hit to load the bases his last time up. That's how the Giants scored a run to tie the game. Sac fly by Gorkys Hernandez. Giants went ahead on the Andrew McCutchen home run in the 5th. Now we're here in the 6th. Strike 1. Richard got a little funky with men on base, but both Richard and Lyles, when the bases are empty, they get the ball and go. Pretty quick rhythms. To short. Not a great throw, but 2 down.
Again, just beautiful footwork over at the base. Watching Eric Hosmer play first base. I mean, he's so reminiscent of JT Snow. Just so graceful, and I mean, it's almost like he's doing a dance over there. We always talk about learn the dance of a position. Well, I mean, he really looks like it.
Two outs for Gorkys Hernandez. Hit a sacrifice fly to drive in that tying run. Has also drawn a walk.
Let's talk about the footwork and watch the brilliance of Eric Hosmer as he kind of toe taps. I mean, he never looks at the bag. He's watching the ball right into his glove, and yet the feet are just handling a difficult situation and making it look easy.
Center field. Jordan Lyles comes in this game and retires the Giants on 10 pitches. Middle of the 6th. 2-1. That's the Giants' lead.
On NBC Sports Bay Area, home of the Authentic Fan. And we have seen lots of Authentic fans here making the trek from San Francisco and the Bay Area down here to San Diego. And they have been very loud and they have been very proud wearing their orange and black. It's great to hear the Giants players talk about it in their clubhouse, and it never goes unnoticed.
Bottom of the 6th. A close pitch call to ball from Derek Rodriguez. Pitch number 79. All the Giants fans. Margot pops it up. A run in the first inning for the Padres. They have not scored against Rodriguez since.
That's kind of how his start against him in San Francisco went. I mean, he went 7 innings, and the first guy up in the game, Margot, he hits a home run, and then whoop, that's it. Gave up 3 hits the rest of the way, and they would score no more. I think it was in San Francisco. Anyway, it was the first time we ever saw him. Could have been down here.
Well, that time he got the friendly call. The strike to Myers. The Padres might not have scored any runs in this game. Myers hit a little infield hit. Barely was safe at first. Then the double by Hosmer back in that first inning. On the ground to third. Foul.
Yeah, that game was in San Francisco. He had 6 strikeouts in that 7-inning performance.
Seeing the Padres for a second time now. I do believe this is his first repeat team. Nope, Marlins. He had the back-to-back outings against the Marlins. Scratch that. I thought I'd come up with a little nugget.
Well, that's the coolest thing about playing up here is you play against the same guys for your career. And then you're looking at, like, you know, Buster's got some guys he's got over 100 at bats against.
Got Myers swinging. That's strikeout number 5 for Derek Rodriguez. Well, we're looking forward to it the weekend where the Giants are going to honor Barry Bonds, including on the Saturday, Giants Pirates, August 11th. 5 p.m. is when the retirement ceremony is going to begin. There's all kinds of stuff planned. It's going to be a long but very fun and I think very moving ceremony. Number 25 going up forever at AT&T Park. SFGiants.com, the place to go for tickets. There are still tickets available for that one. If you're going to come to the game, make sure you get there at 5 o'clock when the ceremony will begin. The Giants have a big one planned for that night. Hosmer, foul ball. It's 1-1. I am told, just as a little tease, there will be many, many chairs on the field.
Well, it's supposed to be a ceremony that's going to be close to an hour long. And I'm looking forward to it. I mean, retiring a number doesn't happen very often.
I think the last one was Monty Irvin.
Mm-hmm.
Three and one. When we get back home after the weekend series in Arizona, 2 quick games against the Astros, then an off day, and then that Pirates series begins. Changeup. That has become such a good pitch for him.
Well, nobody hits it.
Nobody.
It's like, you know, it's like his magic pitch.
Almost literally, he's given up 2 hits against a changeup in like a month plus.
I think it's over 100 pitches now.
He strikes out Hosmer after the changeup with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Wow. On to the 7th. John will join Mike again. 2-1 Giants lead.
It's brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. And for the Giants, through 6 full, 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors. The Padres 1 run on 3 hits. Derek Rodriguez has been fantastic once again. And that is our Toyota game summary. Giants 2, Padres 1. We're top of the 7th inning. Once again, my pal John Miller.
And a strike from Jordan Lyles to Derek Rodriguez. And the curveball low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rodriguez has had a sacrifice bunt, and he's also grounded out. Actually, the catcher threw him out on the ground ball, and he fouls this one out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The leadoff man, Andrew McCutchen, is on deck. And he was able to keep himself from swinging at that one. 2-2 now to Derek. Man, the Giants hit so many balls so hard against Clayton Richard. Lyles covers and takes the throw from Hosmer.
Well, as many hard balls that they hit, you figured they'd have more runs than 2. But such is the game of baseball. Best pitch that Clayton Richard had going today was the Adam ball.
I just made a cursory look through my scorebook. Counted 11 balls that the Giants hit at 96 miles an hour or above. And they only got 3 hits on those 11. Very hard contact balls. And most of those 11 were at over 100 miles an hour off the bat. So they keep numbers on all of that stuff and what the expected average would be. And it's much higher than 273 out. I'll emphasize that. So anyway, that's what happens. Hitting the ball hard does not always guarantee success. As Crawford, or rather McCutchen, grounds the ball to Galvis. McCutchen is out this time, but not the last time he batted in the 5th.
Well, he went up there thinking right field, and boy, did he stay locked with that front side as he covered the outside locator and backspinned it right over the wall. And number 11 for McCutchen. I mean, he got that home run with his mind as much as he did with his swing and the bat head.
So 2 down. Here's Darno. The Giants have not put anybody on base yet against Jordan Lyles. Right at the knees for a called strike at 96 miles an hour to Darno. Darno has just been blasting the ball all day long and has the 1 hit to show, and that was a double down the left field line in the 5th inning. Ooh, not this time. That ball has been called a strike a few times today, but not this time. Darno has lined out to short, flied out deep to right, and doubled to left. 1-2.
Good curveball.
It is quite a contrast if you're a hitter facing the left-hander, the finesser Clayton Richard. Now this guy who's a right-hander who throws pretty hard.
I mean, that's the whole way you set up your bullpen. I mean, a lot of it at times can seem like the guys coming out of the pen are completely opposite what the starter started the game with, what he gave you your first 2-3 at bats with. And you see a lot of organizations that they not only do they like stuff, they like a variety of angles. High 3/4, low 3/4, sidearm deliveries, sink, guys with a lot of soft stuff below the hitting speed.
He chased it, and Hedges throws him out. 6 in a row retired by Jordan Lyles. Last of the 7th. Hedges coming up. 2-1 Giants.
Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com. By Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by California's Great America. It's amazing at California's Great America. With roller coasters and water slides, all for one price.
In San Diego, Southern California, the local scenery there, pretty nice, this area. Not that I'm interested in anything like that, Mike. Just want to go to the ballpark, get back to the hotel. There's a strike to Austin Hedges. Padres bullpen is busy. Derek Rodriguez pitching a beauty, gave up a run in the very first inning, and that's it. He's allowed 3 hits. He's also approaching 100 pitches thrown for this game.
Yeah, Robert Stock and Craig Stammen, 2 right-handers warming up. You say, well, why do you do that? Well, Padres take the lead. Stammen's going to pitch. If they don't, you'll see Robert Stock.
Center field, Gorkis Hernandez comes in a little bit now after first retreating, and 1 away.
Right in the sweet spot.
Freddie Galvis will come up now. Galvis, who has walked and grounded out to first, and is once again put on a show defensively. And we're not surprised. We used to see him with Philadelphia do the same thing.
No, you're right, though. I mean, he's a great glove man. And when you see him as often as you see teams within your division, you really get an appreciation for him. I mean, he's got great range. He's got all the plays. It's
a ball and a strike.
Fun to watch.
He started hitting with some power in Philadelphia, so you've got to respect that as well. Galvis, however, with the Padres, has only 5 home runs. Maybe it's just the difference between playing his home games at Citizens Bank Park in Philly versus here.
Totally. Ballpark in Philly, I mean, that's really an offensive yard. This ballpark, I mean, they've made it a little more fair to the hitters. I think they've made they've altered the fences, I think, 3 times since they've opened the doors at Petco Park.
Just off the outside. Full count. Galvis hit 12 home runs for the Phillies last year. It hit 20 the year before. Really a breakout year for him. High in the air to medium deep left center, and Gorkis is under this one. Came in a little bit at the last.
That was pitch 101 for Derek Rodriguez.
Giants have some action going for the first time in their bullpen now.
I think it's Reyes Moranto starting to heat up.
There he is. Moranto, who pitched 2 innings here last night. Ball 1 to Villanueva. And he is the Padres home run leader. This game he's hit into a double play and walked. And that double play looks like in a bat where he didn't do much. He scalded one at 103 miles an hour on one lightning quick hop right back to Rodriguez, who made a great stab of it and started the double play. Bends him back high and inside. 2-1. Every other game in Major League Baseball a night game. This is the only day game on this Tuesday. And ball 3.
I don't know if Bruce Bochy's going to allow Derek Rodriguez to get back in the stretch. So this becomes a big pitch to him to stay in this game. He wants to close out the 7th inning. But they've got Moranta ready, and he's the guy that comes into existing innings.
A foul that will go out of play off to the right. 3-2. Kurt Young on the phone to the bullpen. And Moranta's heating up, and out of the bullpen, Matt Hergis, the bullpen coach, answers the phone.
Is he ready? Yep. Tell him if he gets on, he's in. Okay.
Another foul out of play off to the right. And it's a private phone call, except the fact that we're watching it happen. And there is a walk. So we'll see if that is the end of the day for Derek Rodriguez. With Aswahe, a left-handed hitter, coming up.
So no movement from Bruce Bochy. I mean, if he's going to come out, he's been in the go position. So Derek Rodriguez has earned the right to face another hitter here.
Aswahe has grounded out twice, once to second, once to short. And a curveball for a strike.
Again, mixing up that first pitch.
Two to one Giants, last of the 7th. And again, got the high strike there. 0-2.
And this is a high strike. I mean, the last couple nights we've seen this strike from Mike Estabrook yesterday, today Mark Carlson. Not many umpires give that high breaking ball.
1-2 now. He's thrown 111 pitches. I think this is the most he's ever thrown in a big league game. But you talk about earning the right, and I think that's also part of what he's earned. And that is all for Aswahe. Nasty pitch down and in. 7 strong in the books for Rodriguez. And we go to the 8th with Longoria, Hundley, and Slater coming up.
This season with MLB At Bat. It's your #1 Giants app. Download MLB At Bat today.
Evan Longoria leads off for the Giants against the new Padre pitcher, Robert Stock.
Hard thrower.
Pitching change for the Padres. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
There you see the numbers. No walks, 14 strikeouts. 3-pitch guy, fastball, slider changeup. Padres got him as a minor league free agent last offseason in November. Was a member of the Pirates organization.
And that's a base hit to left field. First of the game for Longoria. 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits allowed by Derek Rodriguez.
Well, he was fantastic. I mean, look at the reception he got coming back into the dugout. I mean, he can pitch. That's 2 times he's faced the Padres. 2 times he's gone 7 innings, and 2 times he's allowed just 1 run. Struck out 7 today. His previous outing, and back in San Francisco, he struck out 6. He allowed 4 hits, then just 3 hits today. He was brilliant.
Nick Hundley. He has been crushing the ball today. 3 at bats against Clayton Richard, and has hit the ball, the exit velocity off his bat 105 miles an hour or above all 3 times, and yet doesn't have a hit. You hit the ball that hard, the expected batting average based on the records that they've kept with the StatCast is 700. The batting average for guys who hit the ball that hard is 700. He has lined out to left 2 different times and also hit a shot that was turned into a great play by Freddie Galvis, and a low liner that just bounced to the right of Galvis. Hundley behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner at first. Back to the screen. At 98-mile-an-hour fastball there from Stock.
He's got a good arm. Stock, Pac-12 guy, went to SC.
He hasn't walked anybody, as you pointed out, in 10 2/3 innings. He has given up 15 hits and 5 runs. In fact, now 16 hits, including the single by Longoria, leading off this inning. Giants, I'm sure Bruce Bochy wouldn't mind if the Giants went ahead and got another run or 2.
Or 4.
They lead 2-1. It's another one of those Petco Park kind of games. Longoria at first, Hosmer on the bag with him. 2-2. Giants flying to Arizona right after the game, and then we'll have the day off tomorrow. I was thinking maybe going out taking a walk tomorrow. Then I looked at the forecast.
Yeah, what is it?
That's a base hit to right field. He hit it through that open hole with Hosmer on the bag, holding against the runner, and around to third base goes Longoria. Hundley needed that after scalding the ball all day long and coming up empty.
Well, I mean, he deserves that. He's had 4 great at bats, and you have to settle for an opposite field single. But hey, they opened up some room on the right side. They played him to the pole, and they took advantage of the defense.
So the Giants are in business, 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and Slater comes up. Slater has walked, singled, and grounded out to short. He's been on base twice. Slater hitting .310 in the big leagues so far this year. Padres bring the infield in. They don't want any more runs to score. And that slider a little bit low. 29,198. They paid attendance. Crawford is on deck. That's a foul off the right field line, back out of play. 99-mile-an-hour fastball there from Stock. And Stock, he gets a lot of strikeouts. So that's. What do you do differently if you're really pitching for the strikeout?
Well, to try and pitch for it now, I mean, right now he's got a base open, so he can stay to a corner like that. And that was two-seam movement at 98. Now he can come back to the same corner and throw it at a four-seam fastball, which is different movement. And he's got 3 pitches, a slider and a changeup. Doubtfully you'll see a changeup here right now, but sliders down the dirt, you're hoping a guy chases your stuff.
Not chasing. 3-1.
I mean, that's your best weapon if you're Austin Slater. And these are things you learn when you play up here for a while. I mean, if you have an open base as a pitcher, like Robert Stock does, second base, if he walks him here, it's not the end of the world. But he's pitching for the K.
Right on the inside corner.
And that was a nice mistake. I mean, they set that location away. Now again here with a guy who can throw 99, you can elevate above the letters, throw a ball out of the strike zone, and think a guy in a 2-strike zone count's going to try and expand his zone. He may chase.
That goes by the catcher. And Longoria will stay at third. Karam came back, so he decided against it with nobody out. The bases are loaded now, with Crawford coming up.
Stock going with the breaking ball out of the strike zone, so no chasers. So that's going to bring out Darren Balsley, the pitching coach for the Padres. And I like the instinct with nobody out. If you're Longoria at third base, the backstop here in San Diego, very similar to the backstop at AT&T. There's not a lot of room back there, so you can't assume on a wild pitch that it's going to be just an easy take home. Karam can come back to the catcher and you can be hung out. You hate to kill a rally with nobody out and you're the runner at third trying to score on a pass ball or a wild pitch.
Balsley back to the dugout. Kurt Young on the phone to the Giants bullpen.
Now when you lose that open base, as Stock has, it changes everything. So the first pitch strike, that's a huge pitch in this at bat.
Brandon Crawford is flied out deep to right center, lined a single and struck out. He's 1 for 3.
Fly ball situation. Be ready. First pitch. Change up
on the inside,
and that's a great pitch. He gets 0-1. Stock should be pitching for the ground ball early in this count. If he gets to a 2-strike pitch, then he can go for the strikeout.
The infield playing in all the way around. Longoria at third, Hundley at second, Slater at first. Nobody out. Called strike 2.
And that's a nasty 2-pitch combination. He goes inside corner changeup, and then in an 0-1 count he goes to the outside corner with 2-seam movement, and they get the outside location. So now he pitches for the strikeout. He's got an 0-2 count.
Hunter Pence is on deck. And that struck him out looking.
Well, he saved the 2-strike surprise throwing his slider, first time that Crawford has ever seen it. So he dragged him through the garden. He's a 3-pitch guy. He threw all 3 pitches. And here's the end result. He gets the strikeout he was pitching for, and that's a rough at bat for Crawford. But it's also a rough at bat because Crawford's got no database with the guy. He's never seen him.
So now Joe Panik is going to pinch hit for Hunter Pence. Phil Maton, a right-hander, is warming up in the Padre bullpen. Now the Padre middle infielders, instead of being all the way in, are not quite all the way in. It's 0-1.
Again, strike 1. The most critical pitch when you're pitching with the bases loaded. In Joe Panik's mind, he's looking for something he can get in the outfield deep enough to score a run. Pretty good speed with Longoria at third. Best arm in center. And left and center is the best arms in this outfield.
Galvis goes home. And it's in time. That was a force out. Hundley to third, Slater to second. Panik safe at first.
A nice play from Freddie Galvis. I mean, he goes to his right and makes an off-balance throw off his right foot. I mean, this really is, again, a brilliant defensive play, and we come to expect that from Freddie Galvis, and he does not disappoint. If you're wondering as to whether or not Hedges gave him a lane, Hedges was in contact with the base, and he was facing the infield that was throwing the ball to him. I mean, he had the right to hold his ground because it was a force play.
So Stock got into a big jam. Now he's 1 out away from getting out of it unscathed, which it's a 1-run game. That could be huge. Giants do have action in their bullpen now. There's a foul out of play off to the right. Maranta, the right-hander, and Ty Block, a left-hander, both up now. That's the view from the bullpen. Matt Hergis, the bullpen coach, alongside. Gorkis Hernandez has knocked in one of the Giants' 2 runs with a sacrifice fly to right center. And easing over to his left, Jankowski. And the Giants, who had him loaded with nobody out, get nothing at all. 2-1 Giants. Ray Ratto and Kelly Johnson bring you the happy hour on NBC Sports Bay Area and NBCSportsBayArea.com. Also available to listen live and as a podcast on NBCSportsBayArea.com. The Giants with a 2-1 lead over the Padres. Now a pitching change, part of a double switch. Reyes Maranta takes them out when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
51st time that Maranta has come into a game, 5-1 with a 1.69 ERA. Been very, very good. 56 strikeouts in 48 innings, just 23 hits allowed from Maranta. And he is trying to set it up.
Jose Pirela, the pinch hitter for the pitcher, Robert Stock.
Just a bit low.
The Giants also bringing in Steven Duggar to play center field, and Gorkis Hernandez moves from center field over to left field. So Duggar will hit in the 9th spot and lead off in the 9th inning. 2-0. Now last night, Reyes Maranta came on in the 6th inning with a man aboard in a 1-run game. Got out of that inning and pitched one more inning after, through 30 pitches. 3-0.
This becomes a big pitch now. I mean, walks, you don't ever want to give up walks in a 1-run ball game in the 8th inning, especially to lead off an inning.
Well, that was not close. Now Jankowski will come up. And they know that Jankowski might lay down a bunt. He's got great speed. Hundley went out to speak to Maranta. So he never touched the strike zone. Four pitch walk to Pirela. Did he swing? Yes, says Mike Estabrook, the third base umpire.
Well, that was a good thing because they weren't going to get it on the call, and that was right there at the base of the strike zone. Did he go? And that's a gift right there. I don't think he did. I don't even think that was in the 50-50 zone.
Jankowski 1 for 3, hit a double back in the 3rd inning. Bluffing Pirela back to first. Slater on the bag with Pirela. The middle infielders, Crawford the shortstop, Darno the second baseman, double play depth. And he's just having a hard time picking up the strike zone here. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, he's not missing by much. That's the good news. The bad news is he's still missing.
Two and one.
Good take there from Jankowski's perspective. And Maranta can get locked in on the hitter and forget about that runner at first base too.
That is a strike.
And I like that call too from Hundley. He's not hitting with a fastball. Throw a breaking ball. Give him a different feel of the pitch. Oftentimes that can get him back in the strike zone. Throw it again.
Into right field. And now that walk is at third base with nobody out.
And he comes back with a slider, and it wasn't a hanger either. It was at the base of the strike zone, and Jankowski, like a lot of left-handed hitters, they have a little height, which he does. They cover the low pitch well, and he goes down and just protects and finds a hole on the right side with Slater holding the runner on. There's a hole there between first and second base. And just like that, Padres in business here, first and third, nobody out.
Margot. Ball 1. So 10 pitches now, only 3 for strikes. One of those is on that check swing.
Now they got Tony Watson in the Giants bullpen ready to go, but he's thinking more about Eric Hosmer. Margot right-handed, the guy on deck, Myers right-handed. Bochy definitely wants Maranta to face those guys. And Margot just helped him out.
Margot has struck out, bunted, and popped it up and hit a pop up to second. He's 0 for 3. Did he swing? No, says Bruce Dreckman, the first base umpire.
Nice block by Nick Hundley with that runner at third base. Good speed at third with Pirela.
There's one and double play. Very close at first base, but in any event, Double play or not, the tying run has scored. Pereira coming in from third.
Well, the Giants laid their middle infielders back. I mean, they wanted to stay out of the big inning. Kind of an unlikely location to get a ground ball, but Moranta will take it.
Padres are checking with the video room to see if they want to contest this call at first base.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, he's safe.
Yeah, he's safe. Yeah, look.
So the Padres do ask for the replay review presented by Xfinity. So he's a very fast runner.
Yeah, it's still a double play they should have turned.
This may not take very long. They just showed that replay we saw on the big screen, and we hear the Padres fans cheering. And again.
The longer it goes, the more you hold out hope if you're Bruce Bochy. It can be a frustrating thing. I mean, you play your middle infield back, you get a ground ball, and you think you can turn a double play on. You're conceding a run to tie the score. You want to get that double play. I don't really understand what the holdup is on this thing.
Here's the call. Out at second. Safe at first.
He had to have been looking at second base too.
So maybe the longer look was at second, I guess. Well,
That couldn't have looked too long at that.
Didn't seem that confusing.
Oh well. Well, they did get the play right, unfortunately for the Giants.
So now Will Myers will come up. 2-2. The Giants unable to hold an 8th inning lead for the second day in a row here in San Diego. Margot has excellent speed. Got to keep a close eye on him. He has 9 steals this year, although he's also been thrown out a lot. Kirby Yates now alone throwing in the Padre bullpen, the closer for the Padres. Popped up, foul, and this will go well back out of play. 0-2 the count. The left-handed hitting, Hosmer is on deck. The Giants have both Hosmer, Watson and Ty Block warming up in the bullpen. 2 lefties.
This will be the last guy that Moranta faces. But I mean, you think frustrating in here, but how frustrating was it in the top of the 8th with the bases loaded, nobody out, and they can't score? And now how big is that?
2-2. Padres turned a leadoff walk in their half inning into a run. Big rip at that fastball.
He was on it too. Fouled it straight back.
Breaking ball was up a little bit, but on the outside. 2-2 the count to the dangerous Will Myers. It's just been a couple of years since Myers hit 30 home runs for the Padres. He's had some injury problems the last couple of years. In fact, it was last year he hit 30 home runs and 28 the year before. So this year is the one he's had the injury problems with. There goes Margot. Struck him out. The double clutch, and the throw is too late. So now Hosmer comes up with the possible go-ahead run in scoring position. That is the 7th time Will Myers has struck out in the 2 games of this series. The Giants are not going to pitch to Hosmer. They've already given him the automatic walk. Instead, they'll go after Hedges.
And that allows Moranta to stay in the game. "20 pitches into the inning for Moranta.
The Giants had to get 7 innings out of their bullpen in last night's game.
But they do have a day off tomorrow, so they can extend the pin today. And they're definitely extending Moranta right now.
Two men on, 2 men out. A run in. The game is tied at 2. 2 quick strikes here to Austin Hedges, who is 0 for 3 in this game.
Best seat in the house. One of the best camera people in the league right there.
Off the outside at 98 miles an hour. 1-2. Margot at first. Hosmer at second. They'll be running on contact. The Giants in the 9th inning have Duggar, McCutchen, and Darno due up. Popped up foul and out of play right over our heads. And Padres will bringing their tough closer, Kirby Yates, for the 9th inning. Yates, who pitched 2 innings last night as well. Moranta will try it again. His 25th pitch of the inning. Pulled foul.
Little hang on that location with the breaking ball.
Is it tougher when you've been worked hard for a couple days in a row? Tougher sometimes to break off a good breaking ball?
It can be. I think your slider reflects fatigue quicker than any other pitch that you have.
And that is squibbed foul.
That's a good one. Well, I mean, he's 26 pitches into it, and he pitched last night. I mean, he is bull strong, though. I mean, he is a guy that really is built to go 4 days a week. You can ride him hard, but you do have to remind yourself when you are in that situation and you have a 1-2 count, you don't want to make a mistake with that breaking ball in the strike zone. You want to throw it with the idea it's going to start low and break out of the strike zone.
Margot, a fast runner at second. Hosmer, average speed at first. High in the air in left center field. Here's Gorkys Hernandez. But the Padres have tied this game. Yates will come in. Duggar, McCutchen, and Darno. game, a day off tomorrow, and then they begin the 4-game series with the D-backs on Thursday, 6:30 here on NBC Sports Bay Area. Giants D-backs. An hour-long pregame live will start at 5:30. It'll also be streaming live on the NBC Sports app. Don't miss anything about the Giants this season. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and NBCSportsBayArea.com. Bumgarner versus Greinke, a battle of aces Thursday. 2-2 the score now. Padres getting the tying run in the 8th inning. And now the pitching change. Kirby Yates is in when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Take a look at the numbers for Yates. He's been very good. 1.52 ERA, just 25 hits allowed in 41 1/3. He's tough. You're going to get a mid-90s fastball, sometimes higher velocity. He's got good sink. He can cut it. Got a slider and a changeup. Everything he throws, he can strike you out with. Other than that, he's pretty average.
This should be no trouble. Ball 1 to Steven Duggar. Called a strike.
It's the high strike you get from Carlson, the umpire.
Duggar's first plate appearance of the day. Andrew McCutchen is on deck. Fast runner Duggar trying to get the Giants going here. 2-1. And now we were talking about Reyes Moronta, the 2 innings he worked last night, and Yates also worked 2 innings, the 8th and the 9th, or the 9th and the 10th. He threw 23 pitches in his 2 innings.
You know, I thought the inning that Moronta had, obviously he's not happy about it. He allowed the run that tied the score, but he had runners at first and third with nobody out, and he wound up minimizing the damage and allowing just the 1 run. And that for a guy that pitched 2 innings last night. This is a day game after a night game. I mean, that's one of the things you don't ever tell a pitcher, you know, when you get on the plate, hey, you know what, you pitched pretty good. In his mind, he gave up a run that tied the score. End of story. But a pitching coach tomorrow or on Thursday when the Giants get back to work, Kurt Young, Matt Herges, I mean, they'll point that out to him. He dug deep to get that inning.
Well, Duggar's going full now, making him work. 3-2. This will be the 7th pitch as you see McCutchen on deck. Giants have not scored since the 5th inning when McCutchen hit a home run. And a check swing. No swing on the appeal. Mike Estabrook rules in favor of Duggar. It's a walk.
So Yates returns the favor with a leadoff walk here. Now in the 5th inning, one of the big swing of the bats today for the Giants has been the solo shot. McCutchen hit off of Clayton Richard. Backspinned it right over the wall. Just a flick of the wrist.
McCutchen has grounded out, walked, hit that homer, and then grounded out again. Officially 1 for 3. Been on base twice in the leadoff spot.
McCutchen trying to go to right field again. You can see the way that the Padres defend against McCutchen with that right side. I mean, that is a huge hole. If you thought that McCutchen was a little bit, well, yeah, he was trying to let that ball get into him deep so he could flick it into right. And he may try it again.
Oh, 2 the count. McCutchen faced Yates last night, got hit. McCutchen's had 2 hits in 5 at bats, plus he got drilled in that game last night. 2 hits in 5 at bats against Yates. Hosmer on the bag at first with Duggar. Right side of the infield is kind of wide open. Second baseman almost up the middle for McCutchen as Duggar dives safely back. Duggar's had a couple of steals since getting to the big leagues. Playing his 17th big league game here today. And he dives back safely again.
Tell you one thing you don't see a whole lot of anymore is pitch outs. You just don't. Guys aren't stealing. And one thing you very rarely see is a pitch out in an 0-2 count anyway, but just haven't seen many pitch outs this year.
One and 2 now to McCutchen. Giants bullpen is busy with a couple of left-handers. Tony Watson and Will Smith. Will Smith there on the left side of the screen. Watson number 56. Smith, of course, the closer. So if they go back ahead here, then we'll surely see Will Smith. 2-2, ninth inning. Runner at first, nobody out. Two and 2 now. So Yates not as sharp with his control so far here today as he was last night, and really as he usually is. There goes Duggar. There's a high fly ball to right. Jankowski. Duggar will go back to first. Now Darno will come up.
Kirby Yates, I mean, he's not that quick out of the stretch. I mean, he'll give a guy who's a base stealer a chance. Hedges, the catcher, an excellent arm. But I don't know if he can overcome a guy whose unload time is right around 1.5 seconds, which is where Yates has been. 1.45, 1.5 seconds. That's slow.
Darno clobbered the ball 3 different times early in the game, but had the one hit, a double. He struck out his last time. And Hedges with the throw to first, diving safely back is Duggar. Well, there's that arm you're talking about.
It's a good one.
Giants 2 runs, 7 hits. The Padres 2 runs, 4 hits. There goes Duggar. Here's the throw. Got him. One hop throw handled cleanly by Asuaje.
Well, and Asuaje made a great play. Catches, if you're going to miss low. The thing about missing low is that it brings the glove up for an infielder. It gives a guy a little bit of a lane, but in the end, it didn't make a difference. Let's see the strong arm. The unload time for Yates, 1.31 seconds. That's slow, but Hedges says, I got you. It's a big play.
And you can see right there why the Padres like Hedges. He was a weapon right there. So 2 down, nobody on for Darno. First time that Steven Duggar has been thrown out trying to steal as a big leaguer. Foul tip held by Hedges. 2-2 the score. Galvis, Villanueva, and Asuaje coming up. The new pitcher in for the Giants, Tony Watson, when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
51st game that Watson is coming into. Take a look at the numbers, averaging a strikeout an inning against 10 walks, 47 base runners in 47 innings, which gives you a whip, walks and hits per innings pitched, right at 1, which is excellent. It is camp day here at Petco Park, and all the kids in their colorful t-shirts, got their signs and their good attitudes. They've been having a ball. We do a lot of dancing between innings here with the kids. It's been great to watch. Oh yeah, that's the move. We need to learn that, John.
Oh, I can do that. I'm guessing. If I wanted to. Here is Freddie Galvis against Tony Watson. Switch hitter batting right-handed now. And the changeup is off the outside. Galvis has been a little stronger as a right-handed hitter. 255 average batting right-handed, 233 lefty. He's 0 for 2 in this game. And that's out of play off to the right. Galvis 0 for 6 lifetime against Tony Watson. Villanueva is on deck. Just a little bit low with that changeup, and it's 2-1. Derek Rodriguez was sensational again today. 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits allowed, 7 strikeouts. Moranta pitched the 8th. Padres tied the game. Left center field. Yorkis Hernandez a little bit shy of the warning track, 1 away.
Sweet spot Hernandez putting it away. I mean, it's not a full-on basket catch, but it's a low elbow. You don't see many guys catch the ball the way that Yorkis does, but hey, he's got style. I like that. All right, I got this. Elbow low, sweet spot.
Yeah, Willie Mays had style. Willie Mays with the basket catch, usually two-handed, and he also always tapped the glove. Lon Simmons and Russ Hodges used to say it was almost like radar. Will he tap the glove? Well, forget about it. He was going to catch it.
Well, the way that his basket catch was, it would hurt your hand. He didn't like use the sweet spot of the glove. I mean, he caught it in the palm of his hand. You watch his basket catch. They're amazing. Nobody's ever done it like that.
Well, it was definitely one of a kind. Villanueva with a count of 1-2. He's grounded into a double play and twice walked. That is all for Villanueva. 2 down.
Fastball above the hands, perfectly placed by Watson. Set the target in the inside corner. This was by design, exactly to go where it went, above the hands. So watch him try and check it. See ya.
So 2 down, bases empty. Here is Asuaje. Padres have Phil Maton, a right-hander, warming up in their bullpen. Called a strike on the outside. Giants in the 10th, which Watson is trying to get them up there in the 10th inning. They'll have Longoria, Hundley, and Slater coming up. Ball on a strike now. Asuaje has grounded out to short, to second, and struck out. He's 0 for 3. One and 2.
Well, if you're Asuaje, you step out of the box and you have a little word with yourself, and you're thinking, okay, how am I going to hit that? Because I'm probably going to see another one or 2.
He has not been doing much hitting against lefties lately. 0 for his last 22 against left-handed pitching. Watson gets it. An excellent play. You can see the athleticism of Watson on that one. 3 up and 3 down. 10th inning upcoming. Longoria coming up.
Bay Area is brought to you by AT&T. AT&T, official sponsor for Extra Innings.
From sunshiny Southern California, 2-2 Giants as we go to the 10th inning. Extra innings for the 2nd day in a row here at Petco Park. And in to pitch for the Padres now is Phil Maton.
Take a look at the numbers for Maton, averaging over a strikeout an inning. Basically a 2-pitch guy, fastball, slider. Low 90s fastball, he can cut and sink. And he'll throw a lot of ground balls when he's right.
Evan Longoria is grounded out, struck out, lined out to short, and then singled to left. So he's 1 for 4. That was well off the outside.
Yeah, those are curveballs. So back-to-back hooks.
Down the right field line. Off the base of the wall, and it shoots by Jankowski. Longoria is going for 3. The relay to Galvis, and he'll hold on to it. A stand-up triple for Longoria.
Two-hit day for Longoria. This one impressive. He had a couple breaking balls and they stayed away. He goes right with the location, hits it off the jury box, and this is where the Giants catch a break. As it hits the angle of the box, kicks away from Jankowski, and all of a sudden the Giants pick up a 90-foot gift, and that changes everything. Now you have a runner at third, less than 2 outs.
And they bring the infield in. Ball 1 to Hundley. Hundley has crushed the ball 3 straight times into outs, and then he got a single to right through the open hole with a runner at first back in the 8th inning. So he is 1 for 4. Oh. He might have hurt himself on that one.
I mean, that's one that just exploded into him, and I think he's halfway into his swing. He's thinking that's going to hit him in the chin. So now you got to regroup, reboot, and reload.
Hundley has seen just a little bit of Maton before. He's 1 for 3, 1 single in 3 previous at-bats. Has always made contact in those 3 at-bats for whatever it's worth. Middle infielders are in, not all the way. Popped up foul and out of play. 2-2. Austin Slater is on deck. Longoria with his 2nd triple of the year for the Giants, leading off the inning. And that's tapped foul third base side to Ron Wotus, old shortstop.
He's the Wotus. He's the President of the United States.
As opposed to the POTUS.
Exactly. He's the president. Wotus is the President.
And a really good one. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Back to the right side of the backstop. Giants have the closer, Will Smith, up in the bullpen. Also tie block. Great opportunity to go ahead here, but quite a battle. Maton and Nick Hundley. 2-2 the count. Struck him out.
So Maton gets the strikeout he was pitching for. Back in the 8th inning, it was Longoria who was on third base when the Giants had the bases loaded, nobody out, and they couldn't get him in. Here, good breaking ball. He had a count to go out of the strike zone with, and Hundley could not lay off.
It's now Slater, who's drawn 2 walks and hit a single. 1 hit, 2 at bats. He's been on base though 3 times. Infield in.
So all of a sudden that breaking ball is becoming a go-to weapon for Maton as he steals strike 1.
Maton got to the big leagues for the first time last year out of the Padres system.
Fly ball situation for Slater.
Shallow right. He's got a very strong arm, not deep enough. Longoria starts, now goes back. 2 down.
So once again, I mean, the Giants with a runner at third base, less than 2 outs. And now it goes down to the 2-out scenario. Crawford going to try and break the ice here.
Crawford is 1 for 4. Hit the ball hard twice, once into an out, once for a single, and struck out his last 2 times, including with the bases loaded in the 8th inning. The infield back normal depth now. Base hit to right field. Now look out. Jankowski wanted to throw the ball to first, but Hosmer was not covering the bag. I've got to Jankowski in a hurry, so Longoria scores. Crawford delivers 1-0, 3-2 now the Giants with the 1-run lead again.
And that is such a huge at bat. I mean, he jumps on the first fastball that he saw and capitalizes on it. And you say, well, why didn't they just walk him? Well, they put Posey out on deck. So because of that, he gets a pitch. Crawford looking for a first pitch challenge, gets it and delivers. And that's a money hit. And boy, does that relieve the dugout for the Giants. Could not fail 2 times in a game to score a runner at third base when you had a runner at third base no-out situation. So that swing of the bat big.
And it's going to be Alan Hansen instead, but just the mere presence of Buster Posey may have affected this game in the Giants' favor.
I think it did.
Strike 1 to Hansen. Switcher to the strong side is the left side for Hansen. Longoria's leadoff triple, and then Crawford knocks him in. 43rd RBI of the year for Crawford.
That was a big one. And he just picked up everybody with that swing of the bat.
The Padres in their half of the 10th inning will have the pitcher's spot. They've got Renfroe and Ellis. They're 2 available pinch hitters. Then Jankowski and Margot. Base hit right center field. Crawford's going to head for third. Margot comes up throwing. It goes through. Not in time. Pretty good throw there by Margot.
Oh, he's got a good arm. Coming up. And look at the accuracy on the 2-hopper. I mean, that's right over the bag. Like Crawford's taking a little inventory over at third base. I don't know if he rolled his ankle. Darren Balsley's pitching coach is going to come out and talk it over with Maton. But right now, I mean, there's some concern as Brandon Crawford tries to run off a little stinger. I tell you, tomorrow's day off could not come at a better time. It's the right foot that he seems to be favoring a little bit. Left foot, right foot. At this point in the season, maybe it's everything.
So now Gorkis Hernandez, runners at first and third. A lot of speed at first base in the presence of Hansen, and that's ball 1, the curveball to Gorkis.
Well, right now, if you're a right-handed hitter, you got to go up there thinking about that breaking ball, because Maton's throwing a steady flow of them to the righties. Gorkis Hernandez wants that ball middle away. He likes to get extended. And I think that's a good mistake right there. They set that target away, and Maton goes fastball, and it winds up going up and in above the hands.
Giants were 1 for 12 in their at-bats with runners in scoring position at the point where Crawford hit the single to knock in Longoria. Just off the outside. Close one. 2-1.
Little cutter Maton wanted.
So the Giants are now 2 for 13 in those clutch at bats. Hansen started and then stopped away from first base. That one got called as being too high.
Another one Maton wanted. Well, he's seen that pitch called a strike a couple times today. Missed by much with Carlson's strike zone, who likes the high pitch.
3-1 the count. Did he swing? No. And it's ball 4. And that loads the bases for Steven Duggar, the left-handed hitter. Sixth walk drawn by Giants hitters today. Three to 2 Giants. Steven Duggar trying to open it up a little bit more. And he got the low strike there. 0-1. That was the 22nd pitch thrown in this inning by Maton. Crawford at third, Hansen at second, a very fast runner. And Hernandez at first. He runs well.
Good breakable.
Phil Hughes, just recently acquired, former American League starting pitcher. Yankees, Twins, is up in the San Diego bullpen now. A right-hander. The 3 runners ready to take off on contact here with 2 down. Along the left field line, there's Myers. The Giants will have to settle for the 1-run advantage here. And Will Smith will try and save it. We go to the last of the 10th. 3-2 Giants. San Diego, Petco Park. It's 3-2 Giants as we go to the last of the 10th inning. And Will Smith takes the mound to see if he can save another one.
Well, he was spectacular last night. Faced 4 guys, struck them all out in an inning and a third. He got the win in that game. He's got 5 saves on the year. 47 strikeouts and 33 in the third with 20 hits allowed. Just 27 base runners. I mean, he's been dominant. Every time he goes in there, you're going to see a fastball that goes low to mid-90s with a good curveball slider combination and an occasional changeup. Saw him throw one last night. It was a big one in a big situation. But when you take your at-bats, whether you're hitting right-handed or left-handed against Will Smith, you're thinking you got to beat a breaking ball because you're going to see good ones.
So A.J. Ellis, the veteran, the former Dodger, is the backup catcher for the Pods, and he is the pinch hitter for Maton. 0-1. Off the inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Hundley catching. The Giants have Slater at first, Darno at second, Crawford at short, Longoria at third. Hernandez, the left fielder, Duggar in center, McCutchen in right. Two and one.
Conversation with A.J. Ellis back in San Francisco, talking about what he's going to do when he retires. He wants to manage.
And I imagine he'd have some people interested in him in that category.
I agree. He'd be good.
Two and two.
Good breaking ball. He just did get a piece.
Was a time where Ellis, if it was Clayton Kershaw's day to pitch, then A.J. Ellis was going to catch. And Kershaw had such a high confidence level in Ellis in the way he called a game for him. Down the left field line, deep toward the corner, foul. And caught by a Giants fan.
Got a man making a play there. Yep, he's got his family. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Great.
Yeah. Now that we have that, can we go?
It's a good play. It's in my sweet spot. Had a bid. Gamer.
I like that, the place they're sitting down there. That's a good view.
Dad's protecting the family.
2 and 2. Struck him out looking.
Absolute paint at 92 miles per hour in the outside corner. And you count the 4 strikeouts that he had last night in here. Now it's 5 in a row. Boom. Right there. Stick the outside location, Nick Hundley.
That's 33 2/3 innings of pitching now for Smith this year. And that is his 48th strikeout versus 7 walks. Here is Jankowski. I beg your pardon. This is a pinch hitter, Hunter Renfroe. They're going for the long ball right here. Renfroe, the right-handed hitter. And he hit a home run here last night. Popped up. And here is Slater. 2 down.
Boy, did he get that ball in tight. I mean, you talked about Renfroe. I mean, like all big power guys, I mean, want to get extended. And that pitch just ate him up.
Three to 2 Giants. 2 down in the last of the 10th. And Manny Margot comes up now. Margot, who is 0 for 4, although he got an RBI that brought in the tying run in the 8th inning. 1 ball and no strikes. He hit into what proved to be a force out. At first it was called a double play, but the replay review overturned it. So he got the RBI. That is right through the hole, base hit. And so Will Myers, the Padres' #1 slugger, will have a shot at it here. Myers was called out on strikes against Smith in the 12th inning last night. Myers is 1 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts. He struck out 7 times in these 2 games. right back to Will Smith, and he'll take it himself. Ball game over. The Giants sweep the 2-game set from the Padres here in a ballpark that has been unfriendly to the Giants in recent years, and they hang on to win this one 3-2 in extras again.
And 2 grinders, and boy, how nice is it to have Will Smith coming in at the end to be able to nail it down. He did it last night with 4 strikeouts. Here he did it with a pretty clean 9th inning, or beg your pardon, 10th inning. And the Giants doing what they had to do. They're now 1 game over 500, and they have good momentum going into an off day and heading to Arizona.
So they will head to AZ with a 3-game winning streak. Big showdown with the D-backs. The final score in 10 innings, the Giants